So what's been happening over the last 24 hours? Well, I think obviously the first real big news is relating to the business rates for estate agents. And I know Charles will pick up on that later on during his session, but that is really some good news for the industry. And thank you for everyone that's contributed to surveys and badgering their MPs to get that through. That is one bit of good news in these not very pleasant times we're in. Announcements from government. The latest one we've had is really looking at the restrictions on businesses that can operate. And the only one that has been added into that list, which is relevant to us, is auction houses. So they have now been added to the list. And the bit that's probably caused quite a bit of confusion or emails today is regarding work carried out in people's homes. Now, let me just read to you exactly what the government have said. So it says that work carried out in people's homes, for example, by tradespeople carrying out repairs and maintenance, can continue, provided that tradesperson is well and has no symptoms. Again, it will be important to ensure that Public Health England guidelines, including maintaining a 2-metre distance from any household occupants, are followed to ensure everyone's safety. Followed by, no work should be carried out in any household which is isolating or an individual is being shielded unless it is to remedy a direct risk to the safety of the household, such as emergency plumbing or repairs, and only where the tradesperson is willing to do so. So that is not a sort of a green light that we can go in and start doing accompanied viewings or valuations. And I guess one of the big things it brings a question mark over is over gas safety certificates. Now, first thing this morning, the gas safety website hadn't been amended. It was still saying that a gas safety certificate renewal was probably not classed as a essential visit, because they were only fixing where they were a specific maintenance or repair issue. I think now we're in a position where if you do face a situation where you've got a gas safety certificate that is coming towards its end time, then please get in touch with one of your engineers. They will book it in at the most appropriate time. If they feel that they can do it during this time, they probably will. If not, they will schedule it in for when the restrictions are lifted. The caveat on this is where there is absolutely a case of maintenance or repair required, and then they will be carried out. All I can say is this is really changing. Obviously, we've had some announcements today, not within our industry, but within sort of the car industry, where they are saying that if your MOT expires after the end of March, then they're extending that expiry date by a further 6 months. So we're in a very, very changing world, and things could change as we go along. The second thing I just want to talk about is conveyancing and completions and exchanges. I've had a conversation this morning with the Law Society, and they are saying they're waiting for guidance from the Solicitors Regulatory Authority. They're waiting for guidance from the government. But where we stand at the moment, there is no official word to say that exchanges and completions cannot go ahead. It's absolutely business as usual. The only advice they are saying is that every seller and buyer should discuss with their own conveyancer, their own removal company, whether those repairs can actually go ahead, whether those completions can go ahead. But actually, as we stand at 13:03 on the 20th of March, there is no change. Exchanges and completions can go ahead, but also take into account the public health guidance and recommendations. Final thing for me before I hand over to Charles was relating to tenants that sort of taken the decision either because they're off work because of the situation or whatever reason to not pay their rent. Yes, that does mean that if the tenant is not paying the rent, the landlord's not getting their money, and unfortunately your management fee is also not being paid.